Annual headline inflation, members, you can see, during this year that is ending March 31st, 2023, has been registered at 9.0% from what we recorded of 9.2% in the year that ended in February. Majorly, all the components within the CPI have registered a slowdown in the prices, in the inflation. That is the core, the food, crops and related, and the energy, fuels and utilities. However, the core inflation had the highest deceleration, that is registered at 7.6% for this year ending in March, compared to the previous year that ended in February of 7.8%. And the drivers in this core inflation, there is what we call the other goods inflation, and in this it slowed down to 10.4% in the year that is ending in March 2023, compared to a 10.9% in the year that ended in February 2023. We are seeing that non-resource inflation has continued to slow down. That is, it is being registered at 4.4% in the year that is ending this month, March 2023, compared to the inflation we registered annually of 21.5% for the year that ended in February 2023. Also, sugar inflation has slowed down to 38.7% in the year that is ending this month, March 2023, compared to the inflation we registered for sugar on an annual basis of 42.8% for the year that ended in February 2023. Looking at the second component of the inflation, that is the food, crops and related inflation, we see that there is a deceleration in the inflation. It is registered at 26.7% for this year ending in March 2023 from 27.4% as recorded in the year that ended in February 2023. Tomatoes inflation having decelerated by to 33.3% in this year ending March, compared to 44% in the year that ended in February. Okay, you can see the bunches of matoke inflation on an annual basis has slowed down to 47.4% in the year that is ending this month, compared to an inflation we registered for matoke of 61.0% for the year that ended in February. Cassava, fresh cassava inflation has also slowed down to 65.8% for the year that is ending this month of March 2023, compared to an inflation we registered for the year that ended in February of 82.0%.
Residential properties in Kampala and Makindye increased to minus 11.2% for the year ending Q3 financial year 2022-2023, compared to minus 13.7% registered in Q2 financial year 2022-2023. Residential properties in Wakiso increased to 2.2% for Q3 financial year 2022-23, compared to 1.9% registered in Q2 financial year 2022-2023. However, during the same period, the annual inflation of properties in Kawempe and Rubaga slowed down to 0.5% for the year ending Q3 financial year 2022-2023, compared to 4.7% registered for the year ending Q2 financial year 2022-2023.
All right, good morning. How are you doing? Hope you're fine. We are coming to you live from Plot 42 and I love you. Happy new month from ours to you here at Smart24 TV. You're watching your daily Kickstarter and I'm Jerome Paul. So good to take you through what is happening from the world of business and of course from the different perspectives of the business world. And obviously, as we kickstart off the day, you get to realize that that was from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics as of Friday, the 31st of March, 2023, when they were releasing the findings, or you would definitely say what they got to discover about the annual headline inflation. Results are normally released on the last Friday of the month, and this time around, the last Friday of the month came on the last day of the month. So came and doubled as the last day of the month, which makes it double the advantage. But well, obviously, as we continue to drive your business, you get to realize that Uganda's headline inflation, annual headline inflation as of March, dropped to 9.0%. Now, there are quite a number of key driving factors for that particular one, but this is up from 9.2%. Meanwhile, later on in the Karibu East Africa, we shall be looking at Kenya's inflation, where it is currently. But you get to realize that this does seem to be a very good one for Uganda in regards to the kind of inflation flow and of course why we need to be very optimistic towards it. But of course, according to Finch ratings, that is rating for the year 2023 or predictions for the year 2023, it is highly expected that Uganda's inflation may likely stay above 5%, even though the Bank of Uganda had predicted that it would go back as low as 5% by the end of the year. According to Finch, however, they definitely say this time around it's not what we should be expecting, because it does go down as low as you can get it. Of course, according to Finch, they actually say that Uganda's inflation will remain above the Bank of Uganda's target till 2024. So they at least expect that maybe it will actually drop after, that is, may actually drop after this year to at least below 5%, as according to the ratings there and the estimations. But also, putting that aside anyway, you get to as well realize that there is something to do with quite a distinct variation about this entire inflation drive, rather inflation variance. For example, earlier on in the year, it did not start from there. February saw inflation drop to 9.2%. Now it is dropping to 9.0%. Who knows? Maybe after that it will actually be already 8% in the next 1 month or two. But then, as we look deeper into this, some of the driving forces for the inflation include mukene. You look at iron sheets, laundry bar soap. Not only laundry bar soap though, even sugar. All these saw prices drop. So these have actually been key drivers for the drop of Uganda's inflation as of the month of March, or the month ended March 2023, as we continue to give you more of that particular situation, or what you could definitely see that after registering 9.0%. Now, majorly all the components, by the way, within the consumer price index, according to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, have registered a slowdown in prices. That is the core, the food crops and related energy, the related others, or what you could call the other food crops, and then the energy fuels, and then various utilities. All of those registered drops in what you could definitely call as drop in prices. Now, however, on the other hand, the core inflation had the highest deceleration, and it registered at 7.6% for the year ending March 2023. Now, on the other hand, annual inflation as measured by the Residential Property Index, as revealed by Edgar Nyimpa, who is a principal statistician at the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, was that when you look at the Residential Property Price Index for the Greater Kampala metropolitan areas for the quarter year, for quarter 3, financial year 2022-2023, this one registered a minus 3.4%. compared to the minus 5.1% which was registered in quarter 2, financial year 2022-2023. So continuously, you get to see that there is a drop in these particular prices, which have in the long run facilitated the drop in Uganda's inflation. And as far as we're concerned, most of the prices are actually stabilizing, and others actually dropping in most of the areas within the country. And of course, when you look at pretty much kind of a situation by what was revealed again by the Ugandan National, the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, is you get to realize that Arua registered the highest inflation. When you look at the geographical areas in the country, Arua registered the highest inflation by geographical areas, and it had 13.6% of that. So Arua's prices continued to be high compared to other regional areas. Of course, it was followed by Fort Portal, which had 11.2% of areas that registered high inflation. And then there's also Kampala, which had the high income, which was 7.2% for the 12th month. That was a rise from 6.8%, which was recorded in February. So you can at least look at that per geographical area. But now with that, we now turn our eyes to the press review to see what print media has got to write and say about the business perspective this morning. All right, now with the press review, we have the New Vision and the Daily Monitor coming to you this morning. As with the New Vision, is that there's a detail regarding how to keep your mouth healthy. Then in the magazine of Skilling, government issues tough rules for vocational students. And of course, for all those who are picking up vocational studies, there are tough issues that the government has rolled out. Now, as we continue to look at the other, is that there's a case issue regarding the fugitive and police officer who nabbed her for 5 years. Another report coming in from the New Vision. Then President Museveni has told the Africans to reject homosexuality. Another report coming in here, as the First Lady has met Family Watch International President. What are those things that have been discussed? All those are in the New Vision this morning. Then Palm Sunday, religious leaders preach tolerance and environmental protection in their preachings, as USAID marks 60 years in Uganda. The USAID, that is the United States Agency for International Development, and of course they've marked 60 years in the country. Another report coming in from the New Vision this morning. Then members of parliament have approved the 6.99 billion shillings for Priest's apartment block, that is, and the Gaddafi Mosque, coming in here this morning from the press review. Now, besides that, as we continue to give you more details in the Daily Monitor, though, is that the Nalubale and Kira Dam flows have sparked a warning, as an independent engineer's audit reveals risk of possible flooding or shutdown of plants due to antiquated technology and less than satisfactory upgrade investment by the South African firm Eskom, which returned the assets to government last week. Then furthermore is that Palm Sunday, church calls for forgiveness and accountability. In the others, the new PDF is set to buy more land for 110 billion shillings Katonga Museum. This particular one is going to be slated near River Katonga Bridge on the Kampala-Masaka Highway, where the planned National Military Museum will be established or built. Now, Minister Chitutu faces arrest over snubbing summons, as members of parliament have said they will issue arrest orders should the minister for Karamoja fail to appear before them tomorrow. Now, also 3,000 people drown in lakes every year. This is according to a government. Finding. What is there now in the regional news? All harvests as ghosts haunt the parish development model scheme. Details in the Daily Monitor to proceed. And now, lastly, from the press review this morning is that the United States has got Kigali to toe the line again, as under a deal brokered by Qatar, a compromise was reached to help Kigali avoid sanctions while US put pressure on the DR Congo over threat. Now, furthermore, is that US Vice President who was on a tour to Dar es Salaam where they discussed with Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan on matters to do with trade and 5G technology. That is another report coming in here from the details to do with the press review. Now, Odinga, when you look at to Kenya, Odinga versus Ruto, the African Union and the West have spoken as concerns over ugly turning process as they ask both parties to end the standoff and come to a compromise. This is according to what is being reported in here by the East African newspaper. And of course, in the money segment, try scrapping some taxes and conditions have been set. Nairobi on a charm offensive to get more US investors in the market. That is it for the press review this morning here on Smart24 And right now we head to Jinja Road, where Andrew Barige is next to the access road signpost. And of course, that is a route that is joining to the access road. There is a route heading to Chibuli. There is a route heading to Kampala, one heading to Nile Avenue. And of course, that is where he's definitely standing to observe for us the traffic atmosphere at the moment, so that before you leave your home or before you hit the road, you know which route is safer and more convenient for you to use. Let's get to Andrew Barige this morning.
Thank you very much, Jeremy, and a very good morning. And of course, we are right here at the Jinja Road traffic lights, observing the traffic atmosphere. And of course, it's quite a very cold Monday morning, quite a very busy one, I guess, as definitely as different people are heading to the different destinations to ensure that they execute the different purposes as they have intended to the day. And of course, we are entering into the Easter week. And of course, we know that on such days, in such a week, it's quite very busy when it comes to the business community, when it comes to transacting definitely the goods and services. Well, but definitely that also influences the traffic atmosphere into the city due to the different economic activities that are really taking place. Now, taking a look at right here at my back end, that is the access road which connects to industrial area, heading straight to Chibuli. There is 6th Street, 7th Street, and the 8th Street at the same time. Definitely, for any personnel that are heading towards that side to execute the different businesses, you get to realize that it's quite a little bit friendly. Yeah, most especially at the exact corner right there towards the access road. It seems to be a little bit friendly if we are to look in a sense of that. Apart from that is the few potholes which we experience while there, which definitely caused to some of the delays. But according to the observation, for any person that is coming from, probably you're coming from Bugolobi, you're coming from Nakawa, all the way from the Jinja Road connecting till here, the junction, and you're heading towards that side, it's quite a little bit okay and very friendly. Taking a look at, of course, the route that so the vehicles that are coming in from that side, that is the Port Bell Road, and of course not ignoring the Jinja Road for the personnel that are coming in from Nakawa and Tinda, so many other areas, Boyagere, and so many of those areas, and they're probably coming to town to execute the businesses. You get to realize that it's quite a little bit a friendly sort of atmosphere in here, according to what we are looking at. Of course, seeing the different officials doing whatever it takes to ensure that there is efficiency when it comes to traffic control. But definitely when you take a look in there, it's quite a little bit, you know, free. Of course, there are quite so many residential areas in those areas and also business areas. But of course, majority of the people staying in those areas, they are mainly more of residential based, and they come to this side to town to execute the businesses. But now let's shoot over. We'll take a look at Kampala Road connecting towards the Jinja Road. And of course, for the people that are coming in from the different areas, and you're going to use the Kampala route, and probably you're coming to execute business in different areas, you're probably heading to Nakawa, heading to Ntinda, you're heading to Bugolobi, Boyagere, and definitely you plan to pass via this route. It might be quite easy for you, most especially in so many cases, according to the observations, people that come into town normally find it a little bit easy for them to get where they're getting, apart from those that are coming in from the different areas and they're coming to town to execute business. That's why we normally see the congestion really being so massive in that regard. And of course, the traffic officers doing whatever it takes to ensure that there is quite efficient flow of the vehicles, according to the observations. And of course, seeing there is somebody there that has just been held and probably is on a bicycle. I don't know, probably he didn't follow the rules to make sure that he does whatever he has to do in the right time. So that is what has happened to him. Of course, the traffic officer just took his bike towards there. Of course, I don't know, probably it might be he's going to face some repercussions, a traffic sort of offense regarding that very matter. It's just been taken to the police station, and of course his bike taken in there. But anyway, heading back to the traffic, taking a look at the Kampala route. Of course, vehicles held always intervals of about 3 to 5 minutes, I'll say, and definitely making sure that there is quite appropriate flow and movement of the vehicles. So that is the situation. There are quite so many border riders, according to the look of things in here. But definitely, of course, we know the borders being one of the majority of the people that don't follow the rules in that regard. So that is the situation for Kampala Road connecting to Jinja. It's quite okay. Just a few minutes held in there. Now let's take a look to the route connecting to the Nile Avenue, and of course, connecting all the way to Garden City and switching straight. That is to Fairway Hotel, and of course, getting to those different destinations. It's quite a free lane for the people that are heading towards there. You're probably heading to Mulago. Are you coming from Chibuli and you're heading to Mulago? Definitely, this will be very right for you. It's quite a very free lane for personnel heading towards that side, and it's quite a fair turn. If we are to look at the atmosphere regarding what is happening in there, and of course, looking at the personnel connecting all the way from Garden City, coming in here, it's quite very okay for you, for any person that stays in those areas, and probably you're going to use the roundabouts of those given areas in that matter. Well, taking my way back in here, and of course taking a look at the traffic atmosphere, of course you get to realize that it's quite mildly congested. Today doesn't seem to be quite very congested as compared to some other areas when it's quite a very busy turn up of the day. The business day is being quite a little bit tricky, but today, this Monday morning, is quite a little bit relaxed, I'll say. And of course, I think it's because we're heading into the festive week, the Easter week rather, to celebrate the birth. The death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So that is what we are observing in regarding to the matters and to the traffic atmosphere in here. And of course, those are the vehicles from Kampala Road connecting to Jinja Road being released. Like I told you, for any person that you're going to use this route.
All right, and that is Andrew Beridi for you. The access rule, that is what you could definitely see as the Jinja Road. And of course, connected to Jinja Road, Kampala Road, and the other neighboring areas, including Chibuli in Zambia and the Nile Avenue as you're stretching to Kampala as well. It's a good morning from us to you as we're heading into the break. Do remember to subscribe to Zabu, *292# is the USSD code that you will definitely use to kickstart off your investment journey and make sure that your investments count. And at the end of the day, with investment with the Zabu platform, all you need to do is remember that the markets open at 8:15 a.m. and closing time at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. With the platform Zabu, My Money, My Future, Otex East Africa, do something new. And obviously, as we continue to give you more of those particular updates as it does happen here and there, remember that with just a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings, all you need to do is kickstart your investment journey. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and closing time at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Only fully closed during the weekends and on public holidays. Zabu, My Money, My Future. Kickstart off this new month with investment. Trust me, it will be a good one for you. Besides that, after the break, we shall be heading to Karibu, East Africa. And of course, the latest from the international scene. Stick around because there is more coming up shortly. Good morning.